The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
Hello, this is Joe Frantz for the Novak and Frantz show, and I'm about to have a nervous breakdown today. My attention is divided, as it often is, and of course I'm here with Brandon Novak.
How are you? I wish you just wouldn't take things so serious today, Bob.
Well, we're going to talk about that. We're also here with Barback, who's our guest for the day. Say hi, Barback.
Hello.
That's a happy how do you do? And of course, we have the illustrious CJ Schumar, the president of the Brandon Novak fan club, and also he's now the engineer because Taylor Cooper is sick. We wish you a speedy recovery, Taylor.
CJ's a man of many hats.
Apparently every hat I need to wear.
Very proud of CJ. I called CJ the other day. I said, CJ, what are you doing? Knocked me right off my feet with this response. He said, I'm in the gym. I said, wow, where did that come from? Like, CJ isn't a big gym guy. Never really gave too much of a fuck about like health and shit like that. And he said, you've inspired me. And honestly, I was taken back by that. My antics of going to the gym and telling him about what I do inspired CJ to now start a ritual of going to the gym like 5 days a week now.
Yes, 5 days a week.
What's your in like an hour a day? What do you do?
Probably about an hour, maybe a little over an hour. And it depends on how I feel that day, what I do, whether it's weights or elliptical or treadmill.
And I noticed a difference in him overall. He's just his stature's more light. He's easygoing. He laughs more. He smiles more.
It's funny because you went over to pick something up from Phil Margera's house, and he called me as soon as you left, and he says that it seems like your self-confidence has increased. He's like, I didn't realize CJ was so tall. The way he was standing, he's usually slouched and depressed and sad and lonely.
Oh, Phil said this. Yeah. You know, you stand, straighter. You're broader.
He's going to be so self-conscious by the time he leaves here. He's never going back to the fucking gym.
Nah, but I was very impressed by that.
I think it's the first time I've seen him without a hat on.
They can't hear you over there. You got to talk into the mic.
I think it's the first time I've seen you without a hat on too, CJ. It's good. It's a good look.
It is a good
I
look.
haven't worn a hat in a while. Usually it's a ponytail back.
Maybe that's it too. I don't know.
Anyway, the topic we're going to get into before we go to the lines is a topic that it strikes in the hearts of all people. It's fear. One of our greatest presidents, FDR, said, "There is nothing to fear but fear itself." And I want to get into this a little bit before we go to the lines. I've been thinking a lot about fear and the things that people are commonly afraid of and the things that I'm afraid of. And I've realized that most fear is self-imposed. I liken it to, so there's basically three types of fear that you can break it down into three ways, right? And I like to use very primal parables, examples. So the first is that of a lion. Okay, a lion approaches you in the jungle. You're afraid, and for very good reason. But that's a third of the time. So another third of the time, so you know the animal, the peacock. The peacock is a large bird with very ornate feathers with designs of eyes. And so when it's approached by a predator, it expands the tail feathers. And it looks like it has grown in size and weight a tenfold. And all those the eye-like designs on the feathers put fear into the heart of their predator, and their predator backs off and looks for easier prey. So I think that a lot of fear that we experience through other people is false, and whether it's a rival that you have in your life, or someone at work who's backstabbing you, or a lot of people want you to be afraid of them, and as long as you are afraid, they win. But there's really nothing to fear from them. Now, there's a third type of fear, and it's the most self-imposed of the three. And so, if you can imagine a guy still in that jungle and he's lost. Now he crawls into a little cave at night. He's been searching all day for food, water, and shelter. And he looks beyond the horizon of the forest from the cave, and he sees a light, and it's miles away. Now, he can't see this light during the day. And so he knows that at nighttime, if he can travel to that light that he can see, he can find safety. And just as he's about to leave the cave, he hears a noise creeping around in the darkness. And so he's afraid of what that noise might be. It could be a chipmunk. It could be a bear. It could be that lion he was afraid of. So he decides he's going to stay in that cave, forego all risks, and just hack it out tomorrow and keep searching towards the day, even though he knows he can find safety at night. And, who knows? That noise could have been a squirrel. So I think that 2/3 of our fear is absolutely unnecessary. It's utterly self-imposed. And if we can recognize that fear for what it is in our lives, we can erase it and alleviate ourselves from that fear. For example, I recently, as a filmmaker, I've always prided myself that, my 20-some years in the business, I've never missed a deadline. I had to miss a deadline due to a technical failure on my computer system. And my work was going to be a day late last week. And I was I was driving myself crazy trying to fix this. I'd been up for 3 days, hadn't slept for 72 hours. And I said, you know what? What's the worst fucking thing that can happen if I'm 1 day late this one time? And then it was not that big of a deal because the tech guy that I was working with, he was 2 days late. So my work would have been 2 days late anyway. So I stressed myself out for nothing. Guys, what is your feedback on fear?
I agree with everything that you said. I would have delivered that whole spiel much quicker personally.
Mm-hmm.
You turned it into the goddamn nature network, which is cool. I love animals. But fear is two things to me. Fear stands for fuck everything and run. But what it really is, and I'm big on this these days, I've talked to a lot of people about fear. All fear is, which consumes, I'd say, about 90% of my brain and my time. At the least, right? At the most, maybe like 97, 98%. It consumes me. It's so crippling that I can't even put it into words. But all it is it's false evidence appearing real. It's things that I'm projecting that may happen, that could not go my way, that could hurt me in the long run. And the reality is that it's not even real. It's things that I am making up in my own mind, which from my experience of my existence to date shows is fucked. My mind is fucked. I am the judge, jury, and the executioner, and I've been subjected or sentenced to death years ago, just like you talked about, Frantz. You missed that deadline, all of a sudden your life is consumed by fuck, I can't sleep, I've been up for 72 hours. And then really, like, it wasn't even that heavy. The other guy was already 2 days behind, so your shit was going to be behind anyways. I get so quick to think about all these variables that could potentially happen when the reality is I can't control it. If I was a psychic and I could predict the future, I would not be where I'm at right now. The reality is all we have is the here and now. This is what I can control. Anything else is fear. And what is that fear? That's false evidence appearing real that I have made it up in my fucked up brain. Not even real. So I have to constantly tell myself, okay, sure, woulda, coulda, shoulda, maybes. But the reality is I'm sitting in Franz's fucking mom's basement doing a podcast right now. This is what's happening. Like the fear of me potentially hurting myself later skating tonight is made up in my fucked up brain. That who knows? I can't control. I don't know that. What I do know is the here and now. So it's not real.
Ironically, you said that I wasn't brief enough, but we talked for the exact same amount of time. Now,
but mine was
Barback, what is your biggest fear? And please speak into the mic very closely.
My biggest fear, I don't know. I mean, I feel like for the longest time it was letting people down, letting down the people that I love the most, and I did that for so long without me even knowing that I did it. So then after I got sober, that was my biggest fear again, was doing it and then actually feeling and seeing the repercussions of it all. And then as I'm actually giving advice to my girlfriend now, letting her, like, because she would be stressed out about deadlines with work and this and that. I would just be like, worry about the problem as it comes, as opposed to worrying about a problem before it even presents itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I would tell her that till I was blue in the face, and then I find myself doing the same thing. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm doing the same exact thing. So it's like, I kind of just have to learn to take my own advice, I guess, at times, because I'll tell her the exact thing to do all the time, and then she'll tell me that exact thing back. I'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you don't know. But then I'm telling her that exact. So it's kind of just full circle. I just have to learn how to take each problem as it comes, as opposed to a problem before it's even a problem. You know what I mean?
CJ, what about you?
Probably my biggest fear is, I don't know if it's necessarily fear, but it gets me the most anxious throughout the day, is every day I'll make a couple things on a list that I have to get done. And then throughout the day it grows. And then I start to worry that the list isn't going to get done because I've just completely filled it more than I could possibly do in a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you don't want to feel counterproductive when you make a schedule. So you like to put as many things on there as possible. And then, it ends up stressing yourself out. Do you know what the number one fear is with Americans?
What?
Death? Can you guess?
I'm going to say talking to someone on the phone because people tell me that all the time.
It's public speaking. The fear of getting up in front of a crowd and talking publicly is the number one fear of Americans. Isn't that crazy?
I have heard that, actually. Oh, the fear of false evidence appearing real, not even real, made up in my fucked up brain, takes me back to my connection with my higher power, which is everything is, spiritual, done by my creator. So if I'm really in tune with my conscious contact with my higher power, and I realize that fear is real, is not real, it's made up in my brain, then I can ultimately accept everything that comes my way as it is happening exactly as it should, when it should, which continues to keep me in the present, the here and now.
What made you afraid as an addict? I mean, one would think that,
what would keep me afraid as an addict is worrying that I was not going to be able to come up with the next $10 for my next bag of heroin.
What was scarier, the not coming up with the money, and not being high, or being exposed for what you are in front of other people, having other people find out your secret?
The ironic thing about that fear is my fear was not being able to obtain the next $10 to get the next bag of heroin while I'm shooting the current bag of heroin. Point in case at hand. I have a needle in my arm. I'm shooting this bag of heroin, and I am already projecting the fear of not being able to obtain $10 more to get another bag of heroin. That's already false evidence appearing real. Why? Because that's in the future. If I was a psychic and I could predict the future, I would not be there. You know what I mean? So that is a case in point, is false evidence appearing real.
I gotcha. So that's actually really interesting. Oh, looks like we have a call here. Oh, you're gonna get you got it.
CJ, let's see. You're gonna drop the first call as usual.
So it's the season number 2 here in the Might Be News Network, the Novak and Frantz show. Oh, caller.
So
I can hear you guys. Am I on?
Yeah, you are.
How are you?
Wow, amazing. What's up, guys? Yo, great to hear from you. Hey, listen, I am working a boring-ass desk job right now. I've been frying my eyeballs looking at my phone for 2 hours already. I'm trying to look for some book recommendations. You guys got any?
Yeah, read Dream Seller, the book that I wrote, with a little bit of Franz's help.
What type of books are you in? What type of reading are you looking for?
I mean, I'm all burnt out on sci-fi and stuff. I like, slight realism, slight twists, I guess we'll call it surreality.
I picked up this book the other day. It's called Tribe. It's written by a gentleman by the name of Sebastian Junger, Junger. Give it a go.
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, and
Tribe, you said?
Yep, Tribe. Sebastian
Awesome, man.
Junger.
Yeah, I like anything by Philip K. Dick. He's my favorite sci-fi guy. I know you said you were a little bit burned down on it, but if you've read the Stainless Steel Rat series by Harry Harrison, that is just...
I think so.
Yeah, that's just really fun read. Addiction literature, my favorite book is always William S. Burroughs' Junkie.
Awesome. All right. Hey, thank you very much. You guys are my heroes. I can't believe I even got through.
Scott, I just read Scott Weiland's book. His book was really good too.
Oh, wow. I don't even know we had one.
I forget the title of the book, but it's a really good book.
Damn. All right. Hey, thank you very much, guys.
All right, brother.
Take care.
Peace.
Novak, I didn't know you read.
Your favorite author would be Dick.
Oh, God.
Sci-fi.
That was so low, Brandon. So low. Okay, looks like we got another caller. Hello, caller.
Oh, CJ, you fucked that up.
It's a rocky start here.
As usual.
Hello, caller.
What's going on? I'm glad I got through. I have a big question for Novak.
What do you got,
When is he
man?
going to go on the Jason Ellis show?
Say again?
When is he going to go on the Jason Ellis show?
Caller, where are you?
I'm going outside right now. I'm at work.
When am I going to go on a date with who?
No, the Jason Ellis show, I think he said.
It's a good point about that. Jason Ellis and we kind of bumped heads some years
I
back.
remember that too.
And I was really out of my mind, and I said some things that now today I regret. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Ellis got sober as well. He sobered up, and I've reached out to him 2 times via text to see if I could talk to him and basically make an amends to him and make my wrongs right. And I got no response. So yeah. I would like to talk to him and, again, do what I just explained, but he didn't respond to me, so I think I just leave that be for right now.
What was the nature of your argument with Ellis?
I don't want to get into it now. It doesn't matter.
I kind of remember a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's not something I want to, it doesn't need to be talked about again, but
Yeah.
basically I just, I would like to talk to him to make those wrongs right.
I see.
I
see.
Yeah.
Did you betray
I
him?
guess
Why are you trying to fucking ask in a million different ways, for Christ's sakes? Fuck off. Go read your sci-fi by Dick.
Okay.
there you go. Thank you very much for answering that question. And I hope you guys are all well.
Yeah, likewise, brother.
Thank you. And work on Bam, please. I saw him in San Diego recently, but I didn't say nothing to him. He looked like he was doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of exercising, I noticed.
Yes.
So good for him.
Thank you very much.
All right, brother.
God bless, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
It's it's funny when people bring up Ellis. Every now and then someone asks me about him, and man, I still remember when we filmed the movie Haggard, and he played the part of the clerk at the record bin. So there's the scene when Rake has to come in, and he thinks that Rake has talked shit to him on the phone because he got fooled by Deco's character, and so Ellis tackles him and beats the shit out of him. But when we made the movie Haggard, some of the film got fucked up because the camera there was a problem with the camera. So we had to refilm that twice, and both times Rake's entire mouth was bleeding. His fangs pierced his lips.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and oh God, I felt so bad for him. He had 2 bloody mouths when he only had to have one.
Rake was always a good team player.
Yeah. Ellis was so fun to have on that movie too. I've rarely worked with anyone who has so much fucking energy and vitality as Ellis.
Yeah.
He does not run out of energy. I remember when on Aviva La Bam, we were going to Mardi Gras, and he didn't the rest of us took little cat naps and stuff, and we were drinking, smoking weed and that kind of stuff. And I remember there was one point when Rab needed that cat nap because we were going to be partying all night, and Ellis is just riding. He was like, "Come on, Rab, snap the fuck out of it, man!" And then Rab would act like he was semi-conscious, and then kind of sneak off to go to the bathroom, and then every time he would go to his bunk, Ellis was waking him back up. It's yeah, dude. Ellis is what you call an alpha male.
I see. Yeah, I agree with that.
Looks like we got another caller here. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hello.
I didn't think I'd actually get through. This is crazy. I'm kind of shaking right now.
Oh, that's okay. You're only talking to Novak.
Yeah, right?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. What do we got?
We're doing great. What kind of questions did you have?
I don't really have a question. I kind of wanted to say something. Sorry, I'm still shaking. I kind of wanted to say something, I guess, about parents with addiction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know where I'm going to go with this, but my mom, she's an addict. She's very old, though. Well, okay, she's not old. She's like in her 60s, but I don't really talk to her that much anymore because of her addiction. And I was wanting to know if, I guess, have any of you guys experienced something like that, like a parent with an addiction, or can you compare it to like with your friends?
What I can tell you from my experience, with my personal experience, is my father was an addict. And most of our relationship was spent with me hating his guts. Despite me being an addict, I should have been the one who most understood where he was coming from and why he was the way he was. But I wasn't. I disliked everything about him, and we fought. We fist fought. We called the police on each other. And what I can tell you is, he died, and what I think about the most is that I really regret not taking advantage of the time that I had while he was still here on earth to experience my father. Good, bad, or indifferent. He was my father, and I'll never have another one of those. And I really regret that I never took the advantage of time, spending time with him, and I really would like to make that recommendation to you to take advantage of the time that you have with your mother while she's still on this earth.
Oh man, it's been about 5 years since I've talked to her now.
Get it?
She didn't even. Yeah, it's bad, but she has a. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, please. I cut you off.
She has this issue of we ended on bad terms. She kicked me out and everything, and threatened to call the police on me. And even like years later, she's still like harassing me. Like she'll text me or like she'll try to call me, and it'll be really awful things. And actually, when my father's mother passed away, my grandmother, she left me a message saying like she hoped the bitch suffered and all this other stuff. So she makes it very, very difficult. Like I still want to be in her life, but she makes it very difficult. I think there's also some other.
The best thing to do there is go into that with the mind frame, knowing that your mother's a sick woman, right? You're not going into a relationship with someone who's a college graduate who aced the SATs and is a valedictorian of her class. She's a sick individual, just like I'm sick, just like Franz is sick, CJ. We all have our own demons. So just go into it knowing what to expect. Don't put these expectations of like, I'm going to have the perfect mother and we're going to have a picnic every Sunday in the sun-filled park. You just go into it, knowing.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about relationships that a lot of people fail to take into consideration when they want to rebuild is that our idealistic vision of what a relationship could be is very often a reach beyond our grasp. It's a wish, and which
it's like the fear,
which most often go unfulfilled. So. Your idealistic, your wish, your hope, your dream of what this relationship could be, a lot of times is beyond your control. And there's something else you have to consider, is that sometimes broken relationships are not worth revisiting. They just aren't. A lot of times what happens is, especially when you're dealing with a narcissistic personality, is at first, they will allow you some kind of feeling that everything is going to be okay, some thread of hope. And then they will manipulate you and suck you right back into that world with the hope that you will feel that way again. So, and you'll always be chasing that beautiful, warm feeling that they gave you from the beginning. So that is definitely worth considering.
Yeah, only you know how deep that trauma goes between you and your mother.
Yeah.
But if, it's a conclusion you need to come up with yourself. But what I can say from my personal experience with my father, who was an addict and passed away, and I think about it often, is that I really regret not spending the time that I could have with that man. My personal experience. So
I
we wish
definitely
you the
think
best,
about
girl.
that. Thank you very much,
best.
and thank you for talking to me. I didn't, like I said, I didn't think I'd get through, and I've binged all of y'all's episodes, so it's really cool to actually get to talk to you guys. So thank you very much.
God bless you. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah. Take care, girl.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You know, when she was talking about parents who are addicts, I once worked with a guy who was a secret drug addict for 7 years. And I'm not talking just smoking a little weed and doing some pills. He was snorting coke and doing like a little bump of heroin here and there all day, every day for 7 years. And his wife had no idea. And he had a kid. Yeah. And he was actually able to ration everything out so that, I mean, he was kind of okay. You know, he just seemed tired after a hard day's work. He was a very hard worker.
Life
never
wasn't
was late.
unmanageable.
And then one day she found the drugs and she gave him an ultimatum. She was like, how long has this been going on? He confessed everything, went to NA, went to AA, recovered, and lived happily ever after.
Wow. Sometimes that's all it takes for specific individuals.
Yep. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hey. Welcome.
How are you guys?
Good. Welcome to the show. What's your question?
Hey, well, first of all, you guys are great. I've loved you forever.
I know.
And huge shout out to the both of you for your social media presence.
Thank you.
Anytime I write you guys, you're like quick to respond, and I love it. No, my question's for Joe. I was thinking about getting into some videography stuff, and was wondering any tips that you would have as far as equipment. You know, I don't want to spend a whole lot, but just something to kind of get me started shooting some videos and getting some decent editing software.
What type of films are you looking to make?
Honestly, probably like YouTube quality stuff, just some little skits, some little shorts, things like that.
Are you good with a camera? Have you worked one before?
Not for a long time. Again, back in the heydays of Jackass and everything, we would get the little, the high 8 video camera that we had and use that. But
I recommend getting a prosumer camera. Okay, so forget about 4K, forget about 8K, all that shit. A 1080p camera is fine. Okay,
that's kind of what I assumed.
Yep, get a Sony or a Canon. Make sure it has a shotgun microphone. Okay, because if
external mic.
Yeah, but try and get a shotgun. So that's something that'll pick up sound far away. And as you're learning, you're probably going to want to get better mics, but you're going to want to get something that's really going to pick up what you aim the camera at. In addition, this is very, very important. Get a camera that you can change the settings on the exterior of the camera without going into the menu, right? So you want to be able to do the focus, the white balance, the iris, all that stuff with the buttons on the outside of the camera. That's the number one fucking thing you have to do. And because it sucks in the middle of a shot to go into the menu to change some fucking easy settings. That is the main most important thing, and just play with it all the time.
Nice. Now, as far as software, what would you recommend?
I like Final Cut. I don't use anything else. Are you a Mac or
Final
PC
Cut.
person?
PC.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm not a PC guy. So.
Okay.
So.
Well, I mean, it might be worth it to invest in Mac.
Maybe either that or what do they use on PC, CJ?
Adobe Premiere.
Yeah, Adobe Premiere. You can pick it up for free, I'm sure.
Nice. Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for taking my call, guys.
All right,
it.
brother.
Have a good one.
Have fun with it.
Take care of yourselves. Yeah, for sure.
It's funny. A lot of people, they say that they went to college for filmmaking because they enjoyed the films that I've made over the years. And I always tell them, wow, you should have been a dentist. Something that'll earn you a little bit of money. That was a joke.
God.
It actually got laughter.
Yeah, and how fucking foolish I was for giving you my attention. God damn it.
Sorry that you had to have a break from going on Tinder, Brandon, which I've noticed you were doing there behind the
Now you're just lying.
What's the
you did not see that.
What did you just show me?
Too busy with your dentist story.
What does that say? What are you showing me?
He's showing you as a break.
He shows me.
I don't have anything to
He
look
held
at.
a page in front of me. It says steps. Before
says
turning
break.
on Mac, plug in
says
mixer.
break. What
Turn
was I
on Mac.
pointing to?
Password is such and
pointed
such.
to
Wait
break.
a few seconds. Open Launchpad. Open Safari. Mix control. Well, like there's 19,000 things.
Yeah,
Well,
and
how do I
went,
know?
Break.
Okay. Well then.
You know, the director of my social media affairs, Mr. CJ Schumar, does not have to deal with your shit, Franz.
Okay. In the words of the note of CJ Schumard, pause at break to save. We'll be right back after this important message on the Might Be News Network. Work.
Loud, brash, controversial, and now completely uncensored. Foundation Radio is joining the Might Be News Network. Foundation Radio, exclusively on the Might Be News Network podcast. Just search Might Be News Network to listen and subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and everywhere podcasts are found. New episodes every other Thursday.
That was music to my ears on the Might Be News Network, the Novak and Frantz show, here with the second half, and we have a caller right away. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Novak? Hey, Franz. What's going on, guys?
Yo, dude.
Hey, man, how are you?
What's up, Novak? It's Tippy, man. Baltimore in the house.
There we go. What can we do for you, Mr. 410?
Nothing, man. I was just wondering, man. I skated with you a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. I remember. Yeah, man. Greektown, 215, all that shit.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
So, me and my
talk to
cousin Eric Brem, you know how it was, man, back then. I was like the little kid.
Absolutely.
I was just wondering, Brandon, much love for you, man. And Franz, love all your work.
Thank you.
During that time, that, you were going through all that stuff. How much did you miss skating, man? Did you really, really miss skating at that time?
I missed it, but I buried it so deep that I didn't even really think about it. You know what I mean? It's really hard for me to try to explain this to where it'll make sense to you, but the best way that I can do that is I hit it so far away from my psyche, my conscience, that like I dehumanized, I disconnected, I disassociated so much from the human reality or race, if you will, that skateboarding wasn't on my mind, a woman wasn't on my mind, a bill, a job, a girlfriend. My life was consumed by the getting and using and finding more heroin. That's all that I thought about. And the moment that I started to not be high and reality would set in, and I would think about the 215 days, the Sports Elite days, the Eric Brim days, all of a sudden I'd have to do another shot of heroin to escape the reality that I had created for myself, which was like becoming a homeless heroin addict in Baltimore. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
those were
totally
some of the
understand.
best times of my life. Driving out, I'll never forget one time driving up to Cheapskates. It was Bucky, Rob Cole, Eric Brim, and me. And I had this hat that I loved, and your fucking cocksucking relative, Eric Brim, which I love to death. He took that hat and he held it out the window to put it on the antenna, and the hat slid off, and I was so heartbroken. And they had to turn around and get it. And Eric just fuck. I was the youngest kid in the group, so
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I tell you what, man. They were some of the greatest times, man. And we still talk about you all the time, man. When I'm with him, and I remember traveling. Pat used to take us in like I think it was the white Blazer, and we used to go to everywhere. Dude,
Pat
I tell you what,
Alvin
man. I had so much fun back then, man, and I was with you, in Baltimore, not physically with you, but I was through it with your journey, man, and I've seen how down it got, man, and I tell you what, it is so good to see you and so great to see how good you're doing, man, and you make everybody back here in Baltimore, the real people that knew you, super proud, man, and we love every minute of seeing how good you're doing, man. I just wanted to call and tell you that.
Yeah, you have no idea what that means to me, man. And I can honestly tell you, sometimes I think back, right? Because you have to look so I skated morning, noon, night, you name it, I did it, skateboarding, till I was 15. Then all of a sudden I found heroin. I completely disappeared and got swallowed up into the drug scene of Baltimore City. So from 16 to 35 was just a blur. So the only connection to any form of friendship, reality, humanity I had was those years. So I always reflect back to those times, you know, and that means more to me than you know, it means just as much to me as those memories mean to you guys. You know what I mean? So for that, I say thank you, honestly.
Nah, man, we'll always be proud of you, man. No matter what you do, you know, you're always going to be with us down here in Baltimore. At least the people, the real people who knew you were.
Yeah.
You know, we knew Brandon. You know what I mean, at that time. So
yeah,
you know, definitely proud of you. And Frantz, man, love all your work.
Thank
you.
you.
If this guy ever gives you shit, man, just smack him in the back of the head. Just tell him it's from the Baltimore.
Why didn't you tell me earlier in the day? I would have hit him 12 times so far.
I was watching the promo on Facebook. I'm like, God damn, man, nobody's giving him shit. Frantz, just smack him in the back of the head.
Thank you for your Baltimore permission. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Novak,
hey guys, keep it up, man.
All right, brother.
I love you, brother. Thanks, Timmy. Good talking to
See
you,
you,
man.
brother.
Cheers.
You too, brother.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Hello, caller.
Yeah, you're fucking up.
I tried to do CJ. Hello, caller.
Hello, how you gentlemen doing?
Wonderful.
Oh man, I've been sitting here on the line for a minute. I can't believe I got through to you guys.
Well, thanks for being persistent. Most people call once and say, "Why didn't I get through?" But not you. You're a real man.
What can we do for you, Mr. Real Man?
Well, what I wanted to say, I wanted to give both of you guys, just let you guys know how proud and how, you know, this is great to talk to you guys and see how far you guys have gone. I've been a great fan of you and Frantz and Novak for a long time now. And just to see you guys go on and see how long you guys have been, been out there doing your thing and making it happen. It's just great to see you guys still out there. Very proud of both of you.
That's really nice. Thank you so much.
Couldn't do it without you, my friend.
Yes.
Thank you for calling in and giving some love.
Did you have a question?
Let me see. There's a million questions, man. Like I said, I didn't think I was going to be able to come down this.
Let me ask you this, caller.
But
We were talking about this earlier. What is your biggest fear in life?
biggest fear in life. Let me see here. Biggest fear. I mean, I'd say everything. From about, well, death, of course. Everybody's afraid of death, but I think one big thing with me.
Right. Public speaking.
Yeah.
I said public speaking. Are you afraid of public speaking?
Don't fucking impromptu the
public
answer
speaking,
for him.
No, I couldn't say about public speaking. I got over public speaking.
Fuck you.
Man, I suck.
I was right. I said that.
With enough power, if you say anything with enough authority, and you can play anybody as long as you know exactly what you're saying. If you have enough, fucking go for it. But you've been doing public speaking, helping out Novak, of course. I'm sure that there's a little bit of fear there, but coming up and doing stuff like this with podcasts and everything, like that's something overcoming.
Confidence is key in every walk of life, my friend. Thank you for calling.
Thank you so much, buddy.
Take
Fucking
care.
hey, you guys have a good one.
Cheers.
Bye bye. I read a study where it was public speaking's the number one fear of Americans. I don't know.
You know what it is, Frantz?
What? What is it, Novak? Tell us. I don't have much to say now, huh?
Wisdom is taught.
Wisdom is taught. Intelligence is wrought.
Wisdom is
and
taught.
And my heroin has been bought.
Man, where's
I really had something there, and this basement just made me forget it.
Blame it on the basement. Why are you... Okay, everyone, have you been hearing pounding on the table? That's every time Novak talks, he needs to pound on something. I got to get you like a gavel, like judges have, and but with sponges on it.
So I would dismiss this fucking session months ago.
Oh! All right, so are there any more calls?
Nothing yet.
Do you hear the phone ringing, Mr. Fucking Genius?
I don't know what the hell I'm doing anymore.
Okay, so what I'd like to talk about is I do have something I want to talk about.
Okay, what?
I do a lot of things with my recovery and my talks, and it takes me a lot of different rabbit holes that I never see coming. But this one that I was just taken down was probably one of the more prouder moments of my career in recovery. I was contacted by none other than the DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency, the bigwigs, all these special agents, to fly out to California, to Hollywood, to the Dolby Theater, which is where they give the Grammys to like the best actors in the world. And I was called up on that stage to be presented an award by none other than the Drug Enforcement Agency on behalf of myself for all the hard work that I'm putting in towards fighting this opioid epidemic. And wow, was that surreal.
Who would have thought that the DEA would want to contact you
and give me an award
other than to, put you away?
Yeah, and to give me an award on all the hard work and determination that I'm doing and giving in this war on the opioid epidemic.
Are you going to be working with them as far as prevention goes?
Yeah, I am, and I actually just got a text during the show that we're going to be doing a lot of events nationwide. So it's just so crazy how the universe comes 360, and I've now teamed up with the DEA in this opioid epidemic.
Wow.
When my mother had bought me a plot, I was deemed unhelpable, unfixable. I was an IV heroin and cocaine user for 20 years straight,
Yeah. Well, it looks like we got another call. Well, congratulations, Brandon. I hope that you're really able to help out our United States government fight addiction.
Because what we want to do is
badass.
we want to do the prevention where we get them where they're redeemable as opposed to where they become who I was walking into the 13th treatment center at the age of 35 as a lost cause per se.
Hey, it looks like we have another caller. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, this is a Darrell.
Okay, what can we do for you?
Oh, hi. I was just on my way home from work, and I just saw your Instagram post, and I was just wanted to say first and foremost, thank you so much for doing everything you guys do. A lot personally, and I read and I watch all the videos that you guys put out, and I just want you guys to know personally how much you guys helped me, and how helped me. It made my life better. And I recently had a son. He's going to be 2 years old, and I couldn't have done and be a good dad without you guys help me along to get sober. And I just owe you guys a big gratitude so much because without you guys, I wouldn't be a good dad at all to my son. And I just wanted to be the best dad for him. And I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for what you guys do and how much you guys help people around the world.
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you so much for paying attention and and for following us. That means a lot. And second, congratulations on your son. That's amazing. I'm very happy for you, and congratulations on your sobriety. That must have taken a great deal of strength. So you deserve very much to be happy.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say that, and I was really surprised when you guys picked up right now because I'm just heading home, and it was really nice talking to you guys, and just keep up the great work, and I'll be listening and watching for you guys.
Thank you for helping me stay sober, caller. A helps B helps A the most. So thank you for calling and helping me today.
All right, thank you. Have a nice night, guys. Thank you.
You too. Have a beautiful evening. Isn't that nice?
It is.
Man.
It's very easy to get consumed by life and the accessories of life and projecting in the future, the false evidence appearing real, fear, and lose sight that sometimes, people take heed to what we do and push them to want to better their lives.
Yeah.
Like CJ calling me and saying, I'm going to the gym. I said, why the fuck are you doing that? Well, because you inspire me. I never thought that. I never thought that was what I was up to, or, you don't really think, and I'm not egotistical, but you sometimes forget that you have the ability to impact other people's lives for the positive.
Yeah.
And that's very powerful because people always say to me, how do we change? How do we change? What's the answer in this opioid epidemic? If I had the answer, I'd bottle it up. I'd sell it to be a billionaire a billion times over. How I believe that we can predict change in the future is we help an individual at a time. 1 helps 2, 2 help 4, 4 help 8, 8 help 16. Before you know it, the nation's starting to change.
Awesome.
Great answer, Frantz.
Well, I was about to say awesome, and then that was called a dramatic pause, Novak, because now we have another caller
by the phone. I know.
Hello, caller.
Wow, you're really excited to talk to the caller.
I'm just depressed now.
How are you, caller? This is Novak, the guy who actually likes to hear your voice.
Novak and Joe Frantz. What's up, boys?
Yo, dude.
Yo, when's Dream Seller 2 coming out?
Frantz?
Okay, well, Dream
Good question.
Seller. I'll take this, Brandon, since I actually write the books. So the
knowledge is taught, wisdom is experienced. That's what I was thinking of.
So we did have a graphic novel called The Brandon Novak Chronicles, which told some comedic and tragic stories of Brandon's life. And the featured story is a drug-induced adventure that Brandon has with the CKY crew. These are all true stories. So as I put that out, I began to outline the next couple books. I believe there's going to be 2 more in the series. And the next one is called The Streets of Baltimore. And this is, if you remember the Back to the Future movies, how they all kind of dealt with the same timeline from different perspectives, right? So this begins with Brandon in high school. It follows his journey as an addict on the streets of Baltimore and his rise to Viva La Bam fame. And in my opinion, this book is way better than Dream Seller. That's
a heavy statement to make.
Well, there's a lot more action. There's a lot more romance, and my writing has increased considerably. So I've been working on this book. It was difficult to outline all the books at once, but it's something I needed to do so I could divide the stories. And so that took quite a long time, especially to do the research and the interviews and to dig up people from Brandon's past. And
we
all that
even
stuff.
hired a private investigator. And we went to the private investigator. He said, yeah, what would you like me to uncover for you guys? And I said, I want my arrest records. I want to know everything that I've been arrested for. He's like, this is a first, I must say. People usually come to me and ask if I can hide that. You want me to uncover every crime you've ever committed, not only in Baltimore, but yet across the nation. So that was pretty impressive. And we got the results back. And how thick were those papers, Frantz?
Yeah, so in the book is actually, there's 50 pages of photos. Mostly are in color. A lot of the arrest records are in black and white. But so every time we write about one of his arrest records, you can actually read the actual police reports. And it was so funny, Brandon, when we got that PI on the phone. Oh my God, he was like, the first thing he said was like, yeah, we're calling about, digging up arrest records. He's like, well, a lot of that stuff, luckily I went away, and it's really hard to uncover some of it. Like, no, we don't want it to go away.
We want to find it all.
We want it to come back. He's like, oh man, that was so fucking funny.
And it's funny because Frantz is a perfectionist, right? So he's very tedious about the timelines. Times have to match up with events, and I get that from the writer's perspective. But the way that I lived for so many years, life was a blur. I have no recollection except for if it was hot or cold, and that's still a lot of time they could be mishad or misplaced. So what we had to do, or Frantz and I, what we had to do was we had to call a private investigator, get all of my arrest records from all over the nation of the United States and do the timeline according to my arrests from different cities and states. That way we could get a clear descriptive timeline.
Now, Brandon, at one point, Brandon had remembered different things that he has done, but literally he was off by his. So for me, the facts are everything. These are true stories, so everything has to be 100% truthful in the order they happen. But some of the places that he lived and the experiences he had, he was off some of them by 3 or 4 years. Like imagine if you lived in a specific crack house and you got stabbed in that crack house. And, you were living on the floor in that fucking crack house, and there was a 4-year window in your life when that could have happened.
Spoiler alert, that will be a story in this book.
Yes. And so there was...
True story.
And there was... I remember we couldn't find the fucking year. And so I had all the events laid out in his life laid out on index cards. And at the bottom of a box... I found an old phone bill.
This is so true.
And I said, Brandon, there's an address on here I don't recognize. He said, that was the place I lived after the crack house. And I was like, oh my God, do you realize what this means? And with that one piece of paper, that one old phone bill.
I thought was trash.
Yeah, that happened to be at the bottom of a box of fucking photos. I was able to piece together Brandon's whole life.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So with that being said, the books are in progress. It's going down, no bullshit.
Yeah. So the thing about the streets of Baltimore is I had to take 5 months off of writing in order to complete the CKY series in high definition. So it took me 5 months to remaster 7 films, CKY 1 through 4, Haggard, Ming Hags, and Iceland Waterfall, and get all that stuff together. And so now I'm back on the case. And so I'm going to read the book two more times. We're gonna get it off to a proofreader, and we're immediately going to go into pre-sales. And anyone who pre-orders a book is going to get their name printed in the book under special thank you.
So could you give them a rough timeline of when you estimate? God damn it!
No,
I tried to put him on the spot. with that.
It all depends on how long it takes the proofreader, because they might have some constructive.
When will you be done your writing part?
I'll be done in 2. I'll have it to the proofreader in 2 weeks.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen of the world? 2 weeks. You don't like to miss deadlines, you said, Franz. We heard it from your mouth.
I hate it.
In the beginning. All right. Today's date is May 8th.
And that was a very long
episode.
Next episode.
That was a very long answer to a short question.
No, it wasn't. Not to me.
Good stuff, guys. Look forward to it. Glad
thanks,
you came
brother.
back so quick for season 2.
Thank you.
Love the show.
Yeah.
Love the show, boys. Keep it up.
God
All right,
bless.
brother.
Cheers.
Oh, that's nice when someone cares. Someone actually remembers that I'm writing a second book.
I haven't forgotten.
I know.
I just choose not to bring it up. I pick and choose my battles.
It's been such a journey. It was when you got out of rehab, that's when we were able to continue our work. And so it's taken that long to do the research for all the books and, uncover all that evidence. So it's,
who'd have thought you coming to visit me in rehab every Sunday, us mending our relationship, learning how to become actual friends again, more so on my part, to us being to the here and now.
Yeah, it is a strange thing.
In your mother's basement.
I know. Here we've made it. We're hanging out in my mother's basement, which looks like the dungeon from a vampire movie.
But all actuality, we've put the first ever addiction graphic novel out. The sequel to Dream Seller is about to be finished in 2 weeks. I just walked off stage at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, accepting an award from the DEA. And I'm getting ready to fly to Amsterdam in 3 weeks to celebrate my 4-year anniversary of being sober. Big difference from
life is strange.
It is.
I feel like I've in those 4 years I've aged 20.
I've decreased in age. I go to the gym. I'm healthy. I can outrun anybody. I've quit smoking cigarettes. I'm pretty much the fucking man.
And it looks like we got a hello caller.
Franz paid no mind.
What's up, boys?
What up?
Yo, Novak, dude.
Yes, sir, dude.
Whatever happened to Stingy Titty Cockblock?
Oh, man. I don't know. I can't answer that for you. One of the things I try to do on my sobriety.
That was the old Novak.
Yeah, I don't really like to
demean women.
That is a big one, and just talk about other people that aren't in my presence. I treat others as I would hope they treat me, and that might be a really fucking boring answer for you, but it's just kind of how I live my life, and it's how I've changed for the better. So I don't know where she is, but wherever she is and whatever she's doing, I wish her nothing but the best in life. Probably the exact opposite of the answer that you were expecting to get. I'm hoping to get.
That's legit, dude.
Yeah.
And yo, Joe Franz, is the CKY HD ever going to be available off that website?
Okay, so here's the deal with CKY HD. I get this asked a lot. So Danger Cats TV, it's premiering in So, it took me 5 months to remaster the series. And the people who were nice enough to give me an advance in order to pay my bills, basically, so I didn't have to starve to death and get kicked out of my home in order to do it. DangerCats.tv. So they are going to be premiering the videos for a couple months, and then I am planning a series of Blu-ray releases that is going to be going to offer the fans a lot of cool perks. So the first thing I'm going to put out is CKY 1 through 4, and anyone who pre-orders is going to get autographed copies by the Margeras, and they're going to get their fucking names in the credits of the movies. And these aren't just the credits just for that Blu-ray set. As long as these films come out for the rest of eternity, your name will be in the credit of CKY 1 through 4. So, yeah, so it's, we're going to give very special things back to the fans in return for their pre-orders. So yes,
10-4, dude.
That is coming.
Well, you guys are ballers, and keep on keeping it real.
Thank you so much for calling.
Appreciate the call.
Word, dude. Peace.
Late.
When we started this CKY series, I never would have thought. I mean, they were fun videos, and I knew they would be popular, but I never thought that a generation later, 20 years later, people they would have held such a special place in people's hearts. I get people who said, this one girl messaged me and she says, "Thank you for my childhood."
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you know what? Ironically enough, I had so I'm at in California doing the big speaking event with the DEA, and there's 2,500 school children, high school they brought, and the teachers came. And right in front, in the very front row, was a teacher to one of the classes from one of the schools. And he was about late 30s, very early 40s. I mean, he's almost right in front of my face. And we're doing a panel at this point. It's me, it's Jack Osborne, 2 other people, and Dr. Drew is facilitating it.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts his hand up and he said, "I have to tell you, I've never been crushed by somebody so bad in my life. I used to watch you guys, and to see what happened to you and to Bam and to other guys, it crushed me. You were my childhood. I lived off you. You were everything. And to see the road that you went down and the other guys, it broke my heart." And he was literally, and I'm not bullshitting, not exaggerating in the least bit, tearing up and choking up. And then he said, "But to see what you're doing now is so great." And there was no words that could suffice that came from my mouth to make it better. And it was a very awkward thing. And afterwards, I got off stage and I went down. I said, "Look, point I'm trying to make is you just never realize the impact that you have, or that one, that one can have on someone else." Viva La Bams, the Jacket, those were things that were like, someone's favorite song. They hear that song as a child, and then they hear it at the age of 35. It takes them right back to one of the best times of their life.
That's true. A song can do that. It can make
with
you
the
relive
TV
a memory,
show.
and sure.
Your first kiss, the first time you fucked, whatever.
Well, I'm still waiting for that to happen. But seriously, one of the other things I take away from that is, as you grow, when you're a child and you have a hero, that person is a god. And as you grow older, you realize how human those gods are. I don't want to get too big into the philosophy, but okay, here's an example. When I was a kid, my hero was Lon Chaney Jr. He, of Mice and Men, played the Wolf Man, always my favorite Universal horror character. And as I grew up, I realized that he was a severe alcoholic. Like when they would put him in the werewolf outfit, it would take 6 hours to apply that makeup. He would take a bottle of whiskey and he would put a straw in the bottle of whiskey and suck it out of a fucking straw. This is by noon he had to have his whiskey. And
before he even started acting.
Yeah, it destroyed his life. There was one television appearance that he did as Frankenstein, and he was so drunk he thought it was a rehearsal. So he had to actually pick up a chair, and he was supposed to bash this guy over the head with it, and the chair was supposed to break away. He actually picks the chair up and puts it back down because even though it's going out live, he thinks it's a fucking rehearsal.
Wow.
He was that fucked up.
Yeah.
And he died of scoliosis of the liver.
Jeez.
And when I also love the Three Stooges, and when I would read about them, I would always read about Moe's failing health. They always had failing health. I didn't understand that failing health meant raging alcoholic. So, when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I was like, these guys had so much going for them. How could they have been so reckless with their lives? How could they have been so unhappy that they had to do that much drinking? And as you grow older, you realize your heroes are just fucking human, and you're just as human as you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different dynamic. And looks like we got time for another caller here. CJ on the Might Be News Network. Hello, caller.
How many people does it take to put a phone into a mug?
Hello.
How you doing?
I finally got through to you guys.
Thanks
there
for
is a
calling.
God.
I'm just curious. I want to know about the worst date that you guys have ever been on.
How much time you
I'm
got?
sure you guys have a good story.
Novak,
guys
you
have a good
start.
story.
None will top yours, Franz. I'm more of a fan of your story. Let me hear
Oh
what
my
you got.
God. So I'll tell you about the last date I was on. So okay. So I was with this girl and she was really cool. She was a lot of fun to be around. But as she drank, she reverted to, in her mind, she was this little 14-year-old girl. I mean, here's a woman in her 30s. But in her mind, she's like this 17-year-old girl who can get away with anything, right? So she's loud at the bar. She's talking promiscuously, extremely loud, which is completely embarrassing. She's acting like she's everyone's best friend. Everyone just wants her to buzz off. She's like, I remember you. We went to school together. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to watch the game, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so she gets really drunk and she does the one thing I tell her not to do. I have this special leather hat that I wear. It's a Henschel hat. They only make 50 of them a year. They're very fucking hard to get. You got to be on a waiting list to get one of these hats. And it's the only hat that I like. And I just had one rule. You can wear, at one point she grabbed my hat and I'm like, you can wear it here in the bar, but you are not taking that home. First of all, I hate it when women would take my clothes home.
It's annoying when they grab your hats and take it off. And
yeah. But it's it's a whole other thing when they're at your house. They say, it's cold in here. Can I wear a sweatshirt? And you give them your favorite sweatshirt. They're like, can I wear this home? And then you never see it again. They use it to blackmail you to see them again. So anyway, she has my hat in her head. And it's the end of the night. I take the hat back. I walk her to her car. She grabs the hat and fucking runs into the car. And I'm like, you're not doing that. So I'm talking to her. I'm like, hey, when am I going to see you again? And I reach in, I grab the hat. So now she jumps out and fucking tackles me and will not let go and starts biting me as hard enough to break the fucking skin. And now she thinks it's all cute. She thinks it's this, it's like, no. Because when you're on the street doing that, everyone thinks it's a major domestic dispute and they're trying to kill each other. So now I got fucking 4 big tough guys in Eagles jerseys who just got done watching a football game. They're all drunk and fucking pumped up. And they're ready to kick my ass because they think I'm beating her up. So they run over across the street with their fists raised, and then they realize what's going on. They realize that she's this crazy drunk aggressor. So they're all trying to talk to her. They're like, hey, so did you see the game tonight, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm trying to get away. And then she somehow got the fucking hat back. I got the hat back from her, and I'm running away, and I had to hide in the woods next to the bar. Here I am, fucking 40-some years old, hiding in the woods, watching her. She's running in the bar, yelling, "Chow! Chow!" I'm like, and I'm asking myself, why do I date these girls? Why? What am I doing? I hardly even
Where
like
do you
this
find
girl.
them?
Yeah. So she gets in her car, goes the wrong way down the street. So she's now facing opposing traffic on the left side of the street, blocks my car in. We are right next to the police station on a heavily traveled road by police. And I'm like, oh my God, she's going to go to jail. It was, and then the next morning, how come you left? How come you left? Didn't want to have anything to do with her. I still hear from her. Every 3 months, she texts me. And the texts are always the same. It's, hey, Joe, I haven't talked to you in a long time. What's up? I don't respond. Then it's like, I'm really sorry if I embarrass you, et cetera, et cetera. And then it's always followed by, I don't know why the fuck you freaked out on me like that. And then that's a simple reminder of why I don't date anymore. And that was 2 years ago. I've been on a date in 2 years. So I came to the realization that I am not going to date any more women until I find someone I am really stoked about.
My mother loves you. You can marry her. She needs a new husband. Her passport died.
So I hope that answers your question.
Story.
I have plenty. So I'm going to marry your mom and die?
Novak, I only thought you were worth
Hopefully. Oh, yes, she wanted to marry Barback.
Your mom. So it looks like we're going to have a fight over Novak's mom, I guess.
CJ, you laughing at my mom?
I'm laughing at this whole situation.
Oh my God. So yeah, that's one of many stories of difficult women I've dated over the years. That's not the worst date I've been on. That's just the last date I've been on. So, so what did you say? Okay,
you can just say it, CJ.
CJ's running. See, right now CJ's running his hand across his throat, and I'm like, "What's that mean? Is it time for break?" And then he holds up a piece of paper that said "Time's up." He couldn't just say "Time's up." This is so funny because CJ's working the lines and doing Taylor's job. Well, anyway, caller, thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
All right, we love you, and thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah.
And for hand-signed autographs of Dream Seller and our graphic novel, The Brandon Novak Chronicles, starring the CKY crew, go to the shop on brandonnovak.com. Novak, if there's ever an addict who's in need or they need to help a friend, please give them your personal number.
Please, by all means, reach out to me, 610-635-9092. Again, 635-9092. And you heard it from Franz. Next week, Franz will be finished writing the Streets of Baltimore series.
And that doth endeth episode 1, season 2 of the Novak and Frantz show. And believe me, I know all of you have been requesting that you want to see video of this, and we tried it today and it failed. But hopefully next episode, we're going to be on video so you can see my beautiful face and you can cover up Novak's part of the screen. We love you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.